Yeah, so my race day tips, first of all, I like to wake up early enough. So Ironman race is often really early start. So I wake up 3 hours before the race. I have some breakfast and then I take the time to check everything. If I have everything that I need for the race, I pack my bag in the morning and I look at the weather. I always look for some extra clothes for the warming up. I do a proper warm up. I start about an hour before the race. And I do warm up running, a bit of swimming, and for that I need some dry clothes as well. I always make sure I have enough energy to take in before the race. So the last 2 hours I often take 1 or 2 gels, a lot of sports drink or water. So that's the main things in the bag: is energy, some dry clothes, and some spare goggles, spare swim cap. It's always I find it really important to have some spare, because if you realize 10 minutes before the start that something is wrong with the goggles or the swim cap, you're in trouble. So for that I always have everything spare as well. So that's one of the key things I would give everybody as advice. Make sure you have something spare, enough energy, because often you're not really hungry in the morning and then you get a bit hungry before the race, and then you can still take up some energy. So for me that's about it. Maybe some a dry towel to towel off a little bit after the warm-up, and that's about it. Yeah, for me I think it's really important to be fresh, motivated, and really active at race start. It starts days before, but I think on race morning it's really important to make sure you wake up early enough to make sure you're really awake and feel like energetic. And then I start warming up about an hour before the race. I do a light warm-up running wise. So about 15 minutes of running, a little bit of stretching, and then I take my time to put on the wetsuit or the swimsuit. About half an hour before the race, then I go for a swim warm-up. I make sure I stay always warm. So after the swim warm-up or before, I always put on enough clothes to stay warm. And about 15 minutes before the start, I exit the water and make sure I do a little bit of warm-up, dry land warm-up, even with elastic bands if you want to. But for me, it's really important to feel energetic and to be really warm and hungry for the race start. So I would recommend to warm up at least a little bit in either running or swimming to make sure you're warm and ready to go straight away.